All right, hello and welcome. We're going to go over some basic JavaScript today on how to re-implement the map function, the member function of the array data type in JavaScript here. Now this is the Mozilla's developer documentation here. And what map does, we can show in this example right here. It's a pretty straightforward one, and we're going to do this in CodePen, which is one of my favorite little JavaScript. It's one of my favorite JavaScript sandboxes. Some people like JS Fiddle is another good one. You'll see that cited often, but CodePen's pretty cool. So we can copy this here, what we copied from the Mozilla developer documentation. Now take numbers 1, 4, and 9, and it's gonna iterate over them in series and square root them and output it to this variable called roots, and we can show that by logging not rots, we're gonna log roots, and you'll see that this appears in our console here. It goes over 1, 4, 9 and square roots each one in series. Now let's re-implement that and kind of show how JavaScript is doing that. So we're going to create our own function called myMap. And what myMap needs two parameters. It's not a member function of array, so we need to pass it the parameter of an array, and it can be any array. So we're just going to call it an array, and it's going to receive any function, any function at all. So we're going to call, can receive an array and a function of some type. Now with this, we have myMap here. Let's first start by iterating over each item of that array. So we're going to start here with a for loop. For var I equals 0. There's 3 parts of a for loop. The first you need to instantiate the variable, and then you need to set up a end condition. So we're going to say an array.length. That'll be the total length of that array. Total length of that array variable passed in there, and then we're going to have this loop increment, or that variable increment, that I variable increment by 1 after each iteration. So we use that I++ syntax. And what we're going to do here is we're going to assign each item of that array in series to the output of a function, which is that random function that we were passed in before. And we are going to so we're taking that item and running that function, whatever function was passed in, and outputting it back to the array, and finally we're going to return the array back to the output so we can do things like this. So instead of calling roots up here as numbers.map, what we are going to do is call myMap and call numbers on it, and numbers and math.squareRoot. Now let's make sure this is outputting properly to the console. There we go, 1, 2, 3. So we re-implemented that exact functionality there, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're going to take a quote. Well, we're going to output some. We're going to output some information here to just a blank web page. This is blank page with excellent grammar. And I decided we're going to do a random quote here, so I'll pull it up. The miracles of genius always rest on profound conviction, which refuse to be analyzed. So that's fantastic there. So instead of using these numbers, we are going to have set up our array. I'll add the quotes in there. to have two values. First, that quote, and then the attribution here. Ralph Waldo Emerson. He sounds like a cool cat. All right. So now we have, we'll comment that out here. We have an array with two strings in it. Now what we're going to do here is we want to output those strings in series to this page. So we're going to create a function called wrap and append, because what it needs to do is it needs to wrap that string, and we'll take any string, so we'll just call it a string, and we will output it to that blank page. But first what we need to do is create a blank, in vanilla JavaScript, it takes a little longer to do some things. We're just creating a blank p tag. That's like the just the paragraph, the p tag in HTML, and we need to take that string that we're pulling in here. We need to take that string and add it to that just a text node, so we can then append that text node to that p tag. So we have that there, and then we're finally going to output that tag to the document body. So the DOM is the document object model, and we created a DOM element here. Well, that's what wrap and append does. It takes any string inputted, creates a p tag with that string as its text, and then appends it to the document body. And we're going to return the element because in JavaScript you'll often do series of functions on output, on function output, and chain together functions. So we'll return that element just in case we want to do something with it later. Now you'll see here we take roots and set it to my.map. Instead of numbers, we'll do wrap and append our function down there, and you'll see it prints this out here. No numbers, it's going to bother me. This is actually a quote. So we have quote, and we're calling the wrap and append. It iterates over each item and calls this function, which we pass wrap and append on that item, and here it's printing it out. And so we have that there. We can do things like add a let's say quote by, add a new item to the array, and you'll see it prints out there. We can even do some other things. So this is still called roots, unfortunately. Now these are all outputting as text DOM elements, the p tag DOM elements. So it's logging out here. The editor doesn't like that, but that's fine, because we can do cool things like we can take that variable, which is still called roots. It is a set, it is an array of these paragraph elements, and on any DOM element we can call kind of CSS syntax and set it up there. Oh, there we go. See, that outputs as red text. You can kind of do some cool things like that. Well, I'll be sure to save this and put a link to it in the description of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you'd like to see something else, or thank you. Have a great day.